So to remove the side cover, you just come down to the side panel, and then this lifts off, and as you can see, maybe you can't see it, there's little tabs right here in the back of the next thing is the air box, and again it's one big screw here. Maybe I need one more turn on the screw. There we go. Okay, so that can just fall there. We'll put that there. And then this is a little tricky to get on. And there's that big nub there, and that's your air intake for your air intake box. To get the transmission bolt, it's right there. And so here's your top bill bolt. You have another screw on the side here. That is your level set. And you have a bolt on the bottom, which is your drain. Under it like this. I've already done this part. You let the fluid drain all the way out. The fluid's pretty clean, but give it a check. So the next thing I would do is pull out this side screw here, because this has to come all the way out, and you fill it through the top until the fluid starts to come out the side here, and then you know you have enough fluid. Rubber gasket, because let's gotta go for a ride. It's nice outside today. Okay, so the next thing would be take this little socket off the top here. Make sure you got this set up right. And just give that a crack, and then you just pull this out by hand. Now to get this fluid in this little tiny hole, you need a funnel. So let me just set that up and I'll be right back. I'm just going to show you something briefly. Since I'm a boat guy, I have one of these, which is a outboard leg oil pump. And anyway, it doesn't quite thread in there, but I can get it to sit in here. And then, well, I can't do it holding the camera. And anyway, it's a pump. And this is brand new fluid I just put in last night. I discovered I have that bad bolt there. I was playing with it. It popped right out and it all leaked. Luckily I had my bowl handy. I caught it all. I'm just going to pump this fluid back in it, because it's brand new and it's really clean, and the bowl was clean as well. So give me 1 second. Okay, so I'll just grab my bottle, finish topping this up, and then I'm going to seal it up. I'll show you how I put it back together. Okay, so I'm just using some generic automotive transmission fluid. Here's the little pump setup you can see, and you can get those at basically any Mercury, you know, outboard fluid distributor. And what I would do is I would just pump this in here. I gotta use two hands. Sorry, let me get back. So I filled it up till I've gotten to that level there. So now we just have to find our little side screw. Okay. Okay, so that's full, dripping out. Maybe we'll just go one more little pump. Fuck. Okay, it's pretty hard to film it. Fuck. Then I'm going to put this little side screw back in here, stop the bleeding, and just get that in all the way nice and tight. Okay. The bottom screw's tight, this screw's tight, and next thing I got to do is just put this little bolt with the rubber washer, metal, sorry, copper washer, back into here, and we'll screw that down. So back in. That's finger tight. I've readjusted my ratchet direction. Just get that on there, and that's all you need. It's just got to sit tight. Don't go cranking stuff in and strip it, or you'll end up having to replace one of those that somebody else did. I just got the bike here. Okay, so next thing we're going to do is reinstall our little front piece here, and then the air box that we did on the other video the other day. So 1 second, we'll set that up. You can see that today, but there was a rubber flange. Well, I can't do that. There's a rubber flange seal that goes around the outside that sticks out, and I just took scissors and cut that. I still got a little profile in some areas. I could probably take my Dremel to at another time and just grind that hole out a little bit bigger. Anyway, I put this piece on here first, and then I'll put the air box on. So let me just free up my other hand here. So I fitted that on. The tricky part is getting it past that little bolt there with the metal clip and all that set up. And then you can just tighten this down. But before I do that, I'm going to try and just slide this air box onto this donut. fit that in there. You just got to manipulate that, but that's, you know, just rubber. That's not so bad. And then this little doinker hole has to fit in that hole right there. So you got to kind of get that on and in there all in one shot. So I'm going to need 2 hands. Give me a second. See, it doesn't quite fit together perfect, but I'm getting coverage, and I just need to grind that flange out a little bit more, and it'll just go on there like butter. And it's basically, now you just have this one screw here to tighten down. So we'll just tighten that down. I won't go all the way, I'll just show you, you know, what you're doing here. And then this one here, you just tighten this flange down. So we'll get those on, and then we'll put the cover back on. Okay, so you can see that's all fit reasonably back together. And the mesh air filter doesn't go stock with the Lorto 1412, but having extra protection doesn't hurt. And what happens, your cylinder's going up and down here, creates the pressure, and it's going to suck the air in through here, grab some fuel going through the pipe, come out the exhaust pipe here. And there's some back noise, of course, that's going to come out through here, through your manifold, through your carburetor. So if you just have that little air filter on there, or some guys have the different varieties, they're really noisy. And so I found putting the stock air box back on like that, modified, really gives it a nice deep rumbly sound, especially with the bit turbo pipe. And also then you have a little bit of an air filter in here, and I don't think it's really going to obstruct the airflow coming in here. You know, maybe at bare bones you're idling for a long time, but anytime you're running at revs, you're increasing the pressure, and I haven't had a problem with that. I think it sounds really good. And then you have a little air filter here, your mesh air filter. You have this inline fuel filter and a fuel filter inside your carburetor. So just keeping the motor clean, I think, is you know, a big issue with these little 2-stroke motors, and I think they should help once they get everything dialed in. So I'm going to just put the cover back on now. And basically, I can try and do it with one hand here while you're watching. And the trick is, you got to line up those little nubs with the whole blind there, and it's kind of, everything's harder with one hand. I can kind of cheat in the choke window there and see it. Okay, I'm gonna just use 2 hands and get this. I gotta fit it on. That's the hardest part sometimes, and even just getting this little lined up. There we go. You want to make sure it's not gonna fall off when you're riding. You want everything tight, you know, rattle free. Behind this little screw here, I actually found a washer with the little rubber end on the end. Yeah, I'd like to get some more of those, because just protect your, you know, bike, because now it's just soft rubber squeezing on it. But it's also, I think, going to help with the noise and rattling. So here you have it, how to change your transmission fluid, and do it. It's really easy. Get one of those pumps. When you use 2 hands, it just makes it really easy in using a funnel or anything like that. And that's good. Okay, I'm gonna take her down and go for a ride now. Hopefully my my little makeshift rubber washer holds on that bolt, doesn't fall out. Yeah, I'm gonna order one from the moped warehouse. They're pretty good. Takes about 2 weeks to get stuff here in Canada, so I'm just waiting. I'm gonna make up a list, because you can see there's some little rusty ones there I want to get, and these aren't bad. I can clean those up and paint them, and maybe that one, and you just go through the whole bike and, you know, find what'll make it safer. And I actually took a lot of these out and I cleaned them in vinegar, and then I also tried the molasses way, and then I used a CLR. I think the CLR is kind of easiest to deal with, because you can just keep, you know, spraying it on repetitive. The other stuff, you have to make a bath for, let it sit for a couple days. It does work, but I haven't yet learned to I guess reseal or finish the metal, because the rust kind of starts creeping back. Even on my pipe, I've had this pretty shiny, and then now I can see it's almost like sweating a bit of rust. It's an old bike. I got it for cheap, and I'm having a lot of fun, and I'm learning mechanics with it. So maybe you know, leave me a comment if you know something. Thank you.